Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome back to the channel, where today I am going to be doing a little review of Wyrd Sisters, which is book 6 in the amazing, wonderful, fantastic Discworld series by Sir Terry Pratchett. This is book 6 of the reread that I am doing alongside Varsha from Reading by the Rainy Mountain and Susanna Imaginario and a couple other people that I'm not naming because they haven't got YouTube channels, not because I don't appreciate them. And we're doing one a month, and if anyone wants to jump in and then we do the whole discussion on the podcast, join us. Right, this is book 6, originally published in 1988, and this is where sort of the band gets together. This is with the three witches, Granny Weatherwax, whom we met in Equal Rights, book 3, Nanny Ogg and Magrat Garlic, the three witches of the Discworld, appear for the first time. They form a little coven, and it's the beginnings of this trio of characters that are actually growing on me as time goes by. In this reread, I'm discovering new things. I'm enjoying a lot more the books and the themes and the stuff. And with this particular one, I found myself every so often I'll be reading a page or 2 pages and then taking a step out of the book and just staring into infinity, like processing and letting sink in what I was reading. It's been thoroughly enjoyable, and maybe I'm changing my mind as to who's my favorite group of characters from the Discworld. It used to be the Night's Watch, maybe the Witches now. I don't know, maybe I just love them all. But anyway, what we've got here is... So grosso modo, the plot is the king of Lancre, a small kingdom where the witches live, possibly some kind of Discworld version of Wales. The king gets killed and his baby son is taken away by one of his loyal servants and given to the witches for caring, and the witches send him away with a troupe of a theatre group. To keep him safe and away from the new evil king. And the story moves on, and I'll just leave it there. The interactions between the three witches with the very different characters is fantastic, and again, it just surprises me how fully fleshed and developed and presented they are from the very first page they appear. Nanny Ogg is a constant source of hilarity with the amount of the countless sons and grandchildren that she has, and her fairly dirty, risque sense of humor. And we are treated to only one verse of the song "The Hedgehog Can't Be Buggered," which is fantastic. Magrat Garlic also is really well developed, not developed, even just presented. She just appears as a fully realized character, and she's the young witch, and Nanny and Granny are the very experienced older witches, but they still have got something to learn from her, in the same way that Magrat has got things to learn about the older witches. And there is this sort of thing going on about the traditions and the new ways to do things. So that's one thing going on there. And now that I'm rereading Discworld and I'm finding lots of new things, I'm always looking out for the themes. What is the book really about? And I've struggled a little bit with this one. I'm not so sure. It seems to be a bit more... what's the word I'm looking for? Whereas quite clearly sorcery dealt with the themes that I explored and discussed and check out the review before. This one is maybe more to do with politics. There's certainly an element of historical revisionism and propaganda. So there is that going on. And how this history is written by the victors. And there's that, and how they reshape history through novels, theatre plays, as the case is here in Wyrd Sisters, and the power of the written word to shape historical events. So it's a very deep theme, but it seems so removed from the more tangible, direct themes that were explored in other books that were sort of more relatable to your average layman, laywoman, layperson these days. I don't know. Whereas this one feels a little bit more like a highbrow concept, but nonetheless, maybe perhaps it is also trying to say something about when we read history or accounts of times past, to be a bit more critical about how we read and what we read, and maybe not take it for granted. I don't know. Maybe I'm taking this really far, but these are the things that spring to my mind when I read something potentially as silly looking as Wyrd Sisters with another fantastic Paul Kidby cover, which again, it captures the essence of the world and the characters fantastically well. But to the newcomer to the series, they may feel put out because, like me, when I started reading it, I took my fantasy seriously, and certainly this one does not. But it's way better than anything else, or 99% of everything else I've read in the last 25 years. As usual, the book is completely littered with literary references and movie references and culture references, and it just goes to show once again, I doubt that Sir Terry Pratchett looked for these things and decided that if I'm going to write a book about witches, I'm going to research facts about witches and throw them in there. I think he was an exceptionally knowledgeable person, and everything, all the jokes, all the references, fit in the book fantastically well. It is funny, it is deep, it is fantastic. So the read along is going to continue. We're still doing one a month. There is, as maybe this, he maybe planted the seed of an idea in 2 books' time. Maybe it was all planned. I don't know. Or maybe he just planted that seed and it grew in his mind and he developed it later in Guards. But for that particular reference, you may have to wait for the podcast. So check it out over at Reading by the Rainy Mountain, which is Barash's channel. And then I also post it in my podcast, Fantasy Talks Live. But anyway, this is all I have for today. As usual, please take lots and lots of care, and I'll see you soon. Bye.